Hey there, YouTubers and subscribers! RoseRed17 here, and this is Eden Zero, Volume 23, Chapters 195 to 203. And let us begin where the last chapter has left off with the battle of Hermit and Killer, along with Sister versus Clown. The fight starts between the two as Hermit seems to have the upper hand. While Sister was ready to fight Clown, she noticed he disappeared and later managed to find him in the bathhouse and turn the water into a black steam. Then it cuts to Shiki find Happy and Pino, letting him out of the cage until this creature came along and, well, you know how Shiki feels about bugs. But luckily Weiss came to save the day. Oh, so this is the reference from that image from chapter 191. Also, I wasn't surprised that Weiss didn't die, and it planned to remodel the whole dimension. And now back to the battle with Killer and Hermit, and it seems Hermit is beating him. But she doesn't realize that the person she is fighting is an illusion, and the real Killer attacked her from behind, corrupting her program. However, Hermit was one step ahead of him and created a lifelike 3D hologram and attacked him from behind, leaving her to victory. Even though she defeated him, Hermit becomes affected by Killer after self-destructing himself. Meanwhile, Shiki and Weiss finds Rebecca being sucked into a black portal until Shiki uses gravity powers to free her, and then Weiss ran a cancellation program. The five of them ended up back into the arena, and to their shock, they find Hamura badly beaten and her opponent still standing. Okay, this is just another fake out scene where one of the characters is supposed to be dead, but I am not falling for it. Then it cuts to the fight between Clown and Sister. It ends up in a short battle as Sister gets eaten by this monster and Clown is willing to open the door to code 3173. Okay, there are a few theories as to what's behind that door. I know it's the Etherion, but what is the Etherion in this series? That's the real question. Now, there are a few ideas going around about this topic, and some of them do make a lot of sense. Like, this power could be related to the cat lever or to Rebecca herself, or it could be connected to Shiki, or it could be the source of power from Mother. Whatever are behind those doors will be a shocking experience for me, I just know it. Clown finds a way to open the door and then cuts to 15 minutes ago where the chapter shows the fight between Hamura and her foe. We get a little backstory about him dying 3 years by Jaguar. Okay, I really don't care, so why am I talking about this? Hamura activates her overdrive, and after slashing and bashing, Hamura finds a way to defeat him and destroy his armor. And it's not just a power of love for her crewmates, but a smart tactic that helped her in a logical way. And in the end, Hamura's victory filled her success, and Shiki's words gave her the confidence she needed. Back with Clown ready to open the door to code 3173 until Sister showed up to his shop. She healed Hermit and then managed to kill the beast that tried to eat her. Then Clown absorbed her into the nightmare, the same power that Rebecca was trapped in after her fight with Clown. And now it's Sister's turn, and it shows what happens in that cursed power. It even shows Rebecca's torture, and now Sister is getting this. Oh god, I'm sorry, but this is disturbing. I'm getting chills looking at this. Talk about details and design of this panel. I wonder what the animate would look like. Well, maybe not as gross as this because of anime censorship. Anyway, after Sister's body cut in half, Clown said the nightmare has just begun, and then we see Sister smile. She activates Direct Link Drive, which allows her to overpower Clown and turn the tables on him. Clown thought he could mess with this woman. He's got another thing coming. Sister Ivory is the freaking queen of tortures and nightmares. Remember that coin she had a few volumes back, showing that she went 10 years without torturing anybody? Mainly because she was inactive for 10 years because of the fake Sister Ivory. But if that didn't happen to her, I doubt Sister couldn't go a day without torturing anybody. But the point being that Sister Ivory can be freaking terrifying. Even more scarier than the Clown here. And with that, he is defeated and the nightmare curse is broken. Now on to the next chapter with the scene of the Eden Zero ship and the crew on board along with Holly still fighting against Dead End Crow. Then it cuts to Justice being spotted by Ekonella and Elsie still cuffed up. You know, I completely forgot she was still in this arc. Up in space, Eraser and Feather are dealing with the dragon, and the OSI are notifying that every member of the OSG are present within the planet. including Saint Fire Nox, who has not been identified yet, but we will find out soon. Meanwhile, Shiki and the others are on their way to the center of the planet so that Rebecca can activate her ether gear to summon the Corona Phase, to revert the time of the planet. Rebecca asked Hino about having no civilians on the planet. Hino confirmed it, but then decided to scan the area, and to her surprise, there are life forms nearby. And once they made their way to where the life signal is coming from, they discover a chamber of humans, and they all turn out to be women. Weiss and Hamura both notice their mothers up there, and then Ziki came along and tells them that all the women are mothers, and that a particular ether power that only human mothers possesses. Then the reveal of Saint Fire Nox, who turns out to be Rebecca's mother. Now that is one hell of a twist. Not only Rebecca's mother was revealed in chapter 200, but Ziki reveals the identity of the other mothers, including Laguna, Jin, and Clean's mother. But for Shiki, however, his mother is not with them, which keeps me suspicious about that little dialogue. If Shiki's mother isn't with the others, then where is she? This also might confirm the theory about Shiki being the child of the space being mother herself. But at this point, it's just speculation. And speaking of mother, Ziki plans to destroy her, and in order to find the almighty holy being of space, he will use all the mothers that he has collected. Shiki will not let that happen and charges at Ziki. He creates a wormhole around his grandson and teleports him somewhere else. Then Ziki transported himself to Shiki, but mentioning about knowing their plan of Operation Planet Eater, and said that the center of the planet is where they are at right now, before disappearing. Shiki and Ziki are located outside, and the two of them start their battle as it goes on for a while. Then it cuts to the scene where the two robots find Rebecca's Beaucuber 20,000 years later. Oh, so we do get to see a glimpse of what happened during that time. And it turns out that there was somebody still alive, and it was described as a male specimen. And people would say it's Shiki, but you never know. It could be Weiss or Justice or even Captain Connor. Who knows? But if it did turn out to be Shiki, I wouldn't be surprised. But if it was somebody else, I would be in shock. On to the next chapter where Rebecca, Weiss, and Hamura are feeling conflicted about their mother's corpse, as Rebecca feels more conflicted about what to do, as she talks about her past life without any parents. Hamura suggests saving their own mothers and continue with their plan, but Rebecca refuses to go along after seeing so many people around her. But all the other mothers, besides hers, are dead. Even Weiss wanted to take his mother back and properly bury her on planet Norma, and Hamura convinced Rebecca to go along with the plan, after reminding her about the battle that's going on at that moment. Rebecca understood the situation and continues with the plan they had in mind. Meanwhile, back at the Eden Zero, the crew is still dealing with Deadman Crow. Whatever they fire at him, he will absorb it. But Holly has a plan. She created an opening to Crow's core by using her ether gear and melting that section to his metal body. But before she can escape, she gets caught and then absorbed. Holly told him to fire with her inside, but Hermit refuses because she knows that Shiki won't allow it. Then it cuts to the 20,000 year time skip, where it is discovered that humans went extinct during that time and there's nothing but androids and robots. And now only one male human being on the planet Eden. Now on to the next chapter, we see the Eden Zero crew fighting Crow, and somewhere else is Shiki fighting Ziki. And then during their battle, Shiki managed to break Ziki's mask, revealing a silhouette of a human face. And then Shiki's expression just says it all. Now there are rumors, hints, and theories of Ziki's true identity on Twitter. And people were saying that Ziki is actually Shiki from the future. But we'll have to wait and see until the next chapter comes out in 2 weeks. I'm not kidding. We had to wait an extra week because of the holidays in Japan, and there are impatient people having to wait after seeing this cliffhanger. I'm usually not the impatient one, but if there is something I wanted to discover after seeing a cliffhanger like this, I do tend to get frustrated. But after a while, I do calm myself down and focus my mind on something else, and forget all about this topic until the time comes. So back to the rest of this chapter, we see Holly inside the Crowbot and plans to melt it away, but couldn't because her ether gear is inactive active due to Crow's ether jammer. We also learn about why Holy wants to kill Crow. And honestly, this is the first time I've seen Holy act so reckless. She's usually calm, thinks cautiously, and gives off that ugly expression when it comes to Crow. Here, she's attacking without thinking, something that the old Shiki would do. And I know she's in an emotional state where she is willing to do anything to kill this guy. Crow killed the people on her home planet, including her sister. And it shows that Crow is an hole. And damn, what the hell did he do to Holy and her sister? She is saved by Jin and Laguna, and thus the chapter ends. Now, after 2 weeks of waiting, we finally get chapters 203 titled Ziki. So let us begin with Jin and Laguna helping Holy with Crow. And the reason why they can use their ether gear within Crow's mechanical body is because Clean is using her wind power to absorb the ether jammer, thus canceling it out. Holy uses her ether gear to melt Crow away, but only to discover that this wasn't his real body. And then she asked them why they didn't use the cannon, because according to Jin, it was Shiki's wish not to kill any crewmates within the Eden Zero. Meanwhile, back with Rebecca, Hamura, and Weiss, we see Weiss grab in the containers with their mothers inside and place them on the ground, while both him and Hamura are having a moment with them. Hamura seems to be having mixed feelings about her mother, even about what she said to her. And Rebecca started thinking about whether she could save them or not, and so she is counting on Shiki to defeat Ziki. Now it is time for the reveal. The mask is off, and a lot of you on the Twitter were right. Ziki was Shiki from a different timeline. In fact, he came from 20,000 years ago, where the robots found him still alive and hospitalized. It is also discovered how Shiki got the name Ziki. He was struggling to say his full name because of the condition he was in, and stuttering words came out as Ziki instead of Shiki. I wonder why their names sounded identical. And saying both of those names in one sentence always bugs me. And also, it wasn't much of a surprise that these two are the same person. And it's not just because of the theories and speculation on Twitter, but it was also hinted in the manga. We just needed to pay attention. But there's also hints that Rebecca is a Therion behind those doors. But the question remains, how did Shiki survive over 20,000 years in that condition? Well, Rebecca could be the reason, in that she died afterwards. We've seen Rebecca go past her limits when using the Cat Leaper, with her body showing cracks on one side and possibly making her a cripple. And I believe that's what happened to Shiki. Rebecca constantly repeating a time loophole after Shiki's death, and might have killed her after so many tries. Because remember, the robots found 2 human bodies, and the woman died as the man is alive. And that woman could be Rebecca. That is the idea anyway. But until I read the next chapter, I will get more information about what truly happened. There's a lot to say about this volume, especially the identity reveal of Ziki, his backstory, and what happened 20,000 years in the future. And speaking of that future, I realized in that Ultimate Universe, Rebecca is the one that died. And in Universe 1, it's in reverse. Now, this is nothing new from the creator of the show when it comes to the male and female protagonists, and how it shows a mirror image of the reaction towards each other. For example, take the endings of the fairy tale movies. In the Phoenix movie, you see Natsu embracing Lucy after Eclair lost her life. And in the Dragon Cry movie, Natsu falls into Lucy's arms after battling a dragon. Here in Eden Zero with Shiki and Rebecca, each of their deaths and survivals are in 2 different universes. And to me, the reality from Universe 1 and the 20,000 year future. Both of them experience trauma from each other's deaths. That is the mirror image of these two from this series. And there is something else I want to discuss, and that is the connection between Shiki and Mother. Remember when Shiki saw the hologram of Mother? He said he felt like he has seen her before. Well, maybe he has, but in a different universe as Ziki. And I know some of you might say, well, that's impossible because Ziki doesn't have any memories. If he does, he would have found her already. Well, yes and no, because due to Ziki's memory loss, Shiki dying in one universe and Rebecca's corpse becoming a specimen in another, and one more where nobody is dead but in the middle of a battle. This info gives me the theory about Shiki meeting Mother in another universe that hasn't been revealed yet. maybe in Universe 4, but something bad happened, so time traveling once again. Thinking back to the time when Drake and Joe was going to kill Shiki for the second time, Shiki had a premonition of his own death from Universe 1, and when he saw the hologram of Mother, he had that same experience. But instead of a premonition, he gets a feeling. Now, he didn't directly say he met her, he said he felt like he met her. I'll never forget that little details of words, as they are important roles to Shiki's origin story. And other little details of words is when Xiao Mei said, "He's an interesting boy," I expecting nothing less of Mother's ... and she said nothing else after that. But those words are clues that Shiki and Mother do have some sort of connection. But there are also hints that Rebecca has connections as well. But the details of her origin story isn't fully revealed to give enough info for me to summarize my speculation on the matter. The only thing we got about her past is that she was an orphan who was raised by an older wife and how she met Happy. But I will have to say that her ether gear has been playing an important role in the story. And after discovering that Mother is the source of all ether gear powers across the universe, Rebecca's ether gear itself could be the connection between her and Mother. But that's just my own theory on the matter, and I know some YouTubers out there have their own ideas on the series, and I respect those ideas, and I would appreciate it if you respected mine. Well then everyone, thank you so much for watching, and if you are new here, you can subscribe to this channel, and you can also hit that notification button for more updates on my newest videos. And don't forget, you can check me out on Twitter, TikTok, and Discord, and I'll see you all in the next video. RoseRed17 out.